Last week I presented a video explaining a number of measures introduced by the Albanese government in the October federal budget 2022-23. If you have not seen that video, please watch it, as there are some recommended changes that can impact your preparation for retirement or your current retirement if you're already there. But today I would like to go a little bit deeper into explaining one recommended change that I think every pensioner needs to know about and understand, especially if you are planning or already you are in the process of selling your family home. My name is Catherine Eastbrand from About Retirement. I'm certified financial planner and you are watching About Retirement TV, the place where you can find all the information you need if you are preparing for your retirement or if you have already retired and want to improve your financial outcomes. During retirement, many people decide to sell their family home. This could be for a variety of reasons. Downsizing, that is usually selling a more expensive home to buy a less expensive dwelling and have surplus cash to provide for future income needs. It doesn't necessarily mean changing for a smaller place, but sometimes those two might go just hand in hand. Upsizing. This is the opposite situation where you sell a cheaper home and wish to buy a more expensive one, for example, to be eligible for age pension. As we know, a family home is the only asset that is 100% exempt from means testing. So for some, it might be the only way to access age pension benefits as well as the pensioner health card. Sea change. And then some people might want to just simply move to a completely different environment, leave the city and move to the country, sell the farm and move near the beach, leave cold Victoria and move to warmer parts of Australia such as Queensland, Northern Territory or Western Australia, or the other way around, leave the hot land of Australia and move to Victoria or Tassie. And moving closer to your family, or the opposite, running away to have peace and quiet. It is amazing how different we are, but this is what retirement is all about. Retirement should be your time and should be designed the way you envisage your non-working life. If you sell your family home and buy a new one, it is very difficult to match the settlement dates. I always advise my clients to try to keep those days of sell and buy settlements as close as possible, but sometimes it is not that easy. But why do I advise my clients to keep those days close to each other? Well, this is due to the impact your money has on age pension when funds from the sale of your family home sits in a bank account before you spend it again on a new home. Most people think that since this is money from the exempt asset, therefore it is also exempt in your bank account while waiting to purchase a new place. Well, this is not the case. If you sell your family home now, providing you advise Centrelink that you are planning to buy a new home, the total value of the sale of your original home will be exempt for a period of 12 months under the asset test. But what most people don't realize is that funds sitting in your bank account awaiting purchase of your new place is most certainly subject to the income test. Hence, it might reduce your age pension quite severely until such time that money again is locked in your new home after the settlement date. To give you an example of this impact, let's meet Jane, a single pensioner that just sold her family home for $1.2 million. Jane has $100,000 in her bank account, so she has used up the lower deeming rate of 0.25. Therefore, the full balance of the sale of her home is subject to dimming rates at 2.25%. That is equivalent of an income of $27,000 per annum. As the outcome, Jane's age pension will be reduced from the full payment of $987.60 down to $541.79, which is the age pension payment reduction of $11,591. If we look at the same scenario for a couple, their age pension reduction is very similar, of $9,321 per annum. You might say, what's the big deal? The money is in a bank account and can still earn more than the loss of age pension income. Well, that's correct, but let's look at this example. Let's meet Marisa, a single lady who only receives a part age pension of $484. She also has $100,000 in her bank account, but she has a defined pension benefit of $30,000 per annum. The defined benefit is a type of pension fund that is mostly provided to ex-government employees or people that are within the old superannuation system that only provides income payment with no access to any lump sum cash withdrawals. If Marisa sells her home for $1.2 million and parks her money in a bank account, she will automatically lose her age pension entitlement under the income test. If you look at this situation but for a couple, you will manage to keep access to your age pension, but only just with payments of $276 per fortnight per person. So now when you think about Marisa's case, it feels very unreasonable for her to be losing age pension benefit just because she wishes to move to a new place. Can you see now why I advise clients to have those settlement dates as close as possible to each other? But the October federal budget introduced another change that is very beneficial in a situation I am describing today: selling family home and buying a new one. Before, I mentioned that the balance of the sale of your family home is not counted under the asset test for a period of 12 months. Well, this has been extended to 2 years, and in some circumstances where the settlement cannot proceed on time due to circumstances beyond your control, this can be extended even to 3 years. That is great news, but just wait, there is more. The balance of your cash that comes from the sale of your family home will be treated as a separate pool of funds to any other financial assets that you have, and will only be subject to a lower dimming rate that currently is 0.25%, regardless of the balance of the sale of your home. So if we go back to Jane's situations, where her age pension dropped from the full payment down to $541 per fortnight, which is a reduction by $11,591 per annum. Now, with the change being implemented, Jane will be able to keep the full pension payment, and her deemed income is no longer $27,000, but rather $3,000. The same applies to the couple situation, no loss of age pension. If we check Marisa's situation, her age pension will only reduce by $20 per fortnight rather than losing age pension entitlement altogether. This change is scheduled to commence from the later of 1st January 2023, or 1 month after the enabling legislation received royal assent. So how do you think about this change? Do you see this as beneficial for pensioners? Please leave your comment below my video. Also, if you have any issues or topics that you would like for me to cover, please let me know and I will try to create a new video answering your query. I hope you found this video of benefit and you learned something new along the way. If so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. Also, if you would like to learn more, just visit my website about retirement.com.au, where you will find hundreds of articles and videos on the topic of preparation for retirement, superannuation strategies, how to improve your current retirement, and so much more. And don't forget to sign up to my newsletter to be kept up to date with all the changes that can impact your retirement. Also, if you would like to have a more private discussion with me to see how you can improve your financial position in retirement or when preparing for this important phase of your life, just book a meeting with me through my website. On each page, there is a book a meeting button that will take you to my calendar where you can choose the date that suits you. Then just answer a couple of simple questions so I know what we are discussing when we meet either in the office in Boronia, Melbourne, just at the bottom of beautiful Dandenongs, or online. Technology allows us to have a great discussion and meet face to face regardless where you are. And now recommended videos to learn even more. The first is the previous week's video, October 2022-23 federal budget. Please watch and leave your comments how much this budget is helping you. The second video I'm recommending today is the age pension income test. You really need to understand the concept of these calculations that will have big impact on the outcome of your age pension entitlement. Bye!